department would allow you to make some distance between the claims of science and the claims of very religion, right? This debate, again, is unfortunate. But anyway, back to why you should believe in this theory then. I said you shouldn't believe it because it's true, because who knows, right? The truth is. I think you should believe it because it might be true, right? And hence it doesn't come for free. You got to work on it. You can't be lazy and accept your preacher's word that the final account is already in, that we know what you should think, that we have the final answer and all the answers, and we know why you're important and why you aren't. And we already know that you are important. Maybe you're not, right? Being important, you don't get that for free. You don't get to ascribe yourself a status in your own eyes without doing that critically, without engaging in facts and reasonable inquiry and investigation of the facts. And I don't see much of that here today. Because it might be true, there's room for you to make a contribution to this. The Bible is long written, you know. There's theological disputes, and they're very interesting, and there are semantic and hermeneutic tasks to be done, but the fundamentals are in. So if you want to know what to think, right, then there's an answer, right? I prefer a Mayan theory about the origin of the world, right? There's a cave, and people come out of the cave and everything. I prefer that one myself. But you're welcome to it. But science just might be right. This theory might be right, and it demands your critical attention and your continued furtherance of that, right? It's not a done story. It's not a done deal. And any authority that tells you what you think, you see, I think you automatically should resist, scientist or otherwise. If you're not, there's something wrong with you. Look, I've already given you another reason to believe it, because it is as confirmed as science gets. And, you know, knock science all you want, to talk about ideologies creeping into science and call science just another myth, if you like. I teach a course in philosophy of science. I present that material. My students could tell you that I do a fair job of presenting how ideology and male biases and other kind of political ideals do creep into science. But that don't let that take away from the big picture. This theory is as confirmed as it could be. And the other reason you should believe this theory is because it's bloody hard, right? Science is hard. Why do you think the universe would be simple or elegant? Why do you think a creation story as pat and as complete and as coherent as this would deal and be able to continue to deal with the massive complexity that is the natural world, right? The hardness of science should be an appeal to you. It should be a call to you to figure this stuff out, right? There you go. Thanks for your time.
This will be the final segment before the question and answer period. This is a rebuttal period, a 3-minute time limit on each speaker. Kent, 3 minutes.
All right, thank you so much. I'll say, first of all, I do not feel at all threatened by science. Genesis can handle everything science has to throw at it. I think the evolutionists are threatened by real science because the theory of evolution will not stand the light of day. It has to have exclusive monopoly in the schools. That's why they don't want creation taught alongside it, because it'll look really silly next to something as obviously true as creation. Textbooks will say natural selection is how the process of evolution works. This is what Dr. Pruitt said, and I appreciate him saying this. He said there are natural selection and mutations. Let me just talk about those things. Evolution is really founded on two faulty assumptions, which he admitted here. Mutations are supposed to make something new. Nobody's ever observed that. And then natural selection is supposed to make it survive and take over the population. These are the two cornerstones of evolution. And of course, with genetic isolation, it has to get a new species evolve a little better than the rest, and the rest have to die off, of course. The superior survives, the inferior die. That's essential for growth, of course. Hitler certainly believed that and practiced it. Mutations do happen, there's no question. Every known mutation is harmful or fatal or neutral. Or if you do get one that's beneficial, which nobody's ever proven a beneficial mutation, I would love to see one. Dr. Pruitt, if you know of one, please let me know. Who would that mutated superior one marry? And who would its grandkids marry and great-grandkids marry? It's going to be blended back into the population. If you're going to stake your whole eternity on this, I think you're really on shaky ground. Mutations happen. Here's a 5-legged bull. That's a mutant. I want you to notice the bull got an extra leg. He did not get a wing, a feather, or a beak. He already had the gene pool to produce legs. He just built one in the wrong place. That is no new information. It is scrambled existing information. Short-legged sheep, same thing. This is a mutant, but there's no new information. It's scrambled information that pre-exists. Two-headed turtle, that's a mutant. Not ninja, but it's mutant. He's going to freeze first winter. Nobody makes a double-neck turtleneck sweater. Mutations are harmful or fatal. It's scrambling up information that is pre-existing. How can you say that's going to create something new? Even Pierre Gross says mutations do not produce any kind of evolution. That's a dead-end street if you're going to go on mutations to get you ahead. You get millions of detrimental ones, never a beneficial one. And then they say natural selection is going to do something for this. This textbook says, this is used in Pensacola here, natural selection causes evolution. Well, that's just a bold-faced lie. Creationists agree natural selection happens, but it's not a creative process to make something new. It keeps the species strong. That's all it does. It can't create anything new. They know that. Natural selection cannot create properties in order to meet adaptational needs. Natural selection doesn't change the product to something else. And we could go on another hour on this topic, but mutations do happen, and they have nothing to do with evolution. And natural selection happens, and that's proof of creation. God wants to make sure the weaker ones are weeded out so the whole gene pool doesn't become weak. It's got nothing, it doesn't change the species to something else. I certainly wouldn't rest my eternity on those two faulty assumptions.
3 minutes to rebut.
This is getting so good. If you've got 14 hours worth, I've got at least that much. We should do a course together. Just think of all the money we could make. You know, that'd be great. All right, now I'm really moved by a couple of things that Kent has said, and I want to play with this for a second. Genesis can handle everything, and so I'm going to take that premise, and I want to look at Genesis 1 briefly. And I'm going to do it very quick because I only have 3 minutes here. But on the first day, we have the creation of light. Now, I'm not going to worry about the water that was there before. There's something there before God does the light thing, and that's been handled, I think, adequately by other people, but on both sides. Light is separated from dark, and we have day and night. And on the second day, the firmament is created, and we have sky and the waters below. And on the third day, the waters are divided, exposing the land. And as a sort of a coda to the third day, the plants are created. And the plants of all of the different kinds. Then on the fourth day, God creates the stars and the sun and the moon, the lights that light the day and the night, the things that occupy the day and the night that were created on the first day. On the fifth day, God creates the birds and the fishes. Actually, it's in the other order, the fishes and then the birds. The things that occupy the sky and the sea. And on the sixth day, God creates the animals of all the different kinds. And as an afterthought, because he's not satisfied with the qualities of these animals, not really as an afterthought, he creates humans in his own image. So that distinction between humans and the animals is certainly there in the creation story. And it's one that has been imbued in, it's an ideology which has been imbued in our philosophy for a long time. My point is, God created, according to this story, precisely the large structure of the phylogenetic sequence of the